It's here the day Nvidia reports earnings. So we're going to take a look at the chart as well as stocks that are reporting earnings on Thursday, November 20th. So let's dive in, looking at price action, market timing, and momentum, because I'm human ready and that's what I do. So I have the chart of Nvidia up, and you can see that the forecast that I had laid out for it to trade up into this $205 area by today is still sitting there. And I've left that little mark on this chart because it's technically still intact while we're above the October 22nd low. Now we are consolidating over that low, and short-term bears keep trying to approach it. But I don't think that right now there's any reason to believe that it will be violated, at least in today's regular session, okay, because the earnings come out after the close. Now, that being said, you have to kind of watch the price action. So one thing I'm noticing developing is a potential trend line resistance. I'm going to get really granular here, again, because it's earnings day and this is a big S&P 500 component. So I'm just going to take a trend line to this double top here. I'm going to connect to the first lower high, and then I'm going to drop it down. Okay. Now, this is not a beautiful trend line that's currently intact because today's session is outside of it. Okay. And for those of you who have lost forecasting, this is not the technique that you may think it is. So just keep that in mind. All right. This is just a regular trend line. And I want you to pay attention to the fact that there's been this slant that's maintained price action for the past several days, and we're finally starting to hint above it. To me, that's a sign that the bullish energy is picking back up. We have to see what kind of reaction there's to earnings. And remember, if you're newer to trading or newer to stock trading, when earnings are released after the close, there will be a change in the aftermarket price, right? But you're not going to go and see that reflected on the chart until the next session. So Thursday at 9:30 Eastern, right? So pay close attention if you trade any indexes because Nvidia is a big component, especially S&P 500 ones. And of course, if you trade tech stocks or Nvidia itself. All right, now let's look at other companies that are reporting tomorrow. All right, Walmart. Now it has broken below support from October 2nd. And you can see it did so on November 14th, but it has not been able to post a closing break below that low. So when it comes to support and resistance levels, it's always important to be aware of how the market's behaving once it's tested it, okay? I used to get a little slap on my wrist when I would do this on Wall Street because I would see that a support area had been tested. Technically, it had been traded through, so the powers that be would not let me write about it in my report. And I get it because they didn't want to confuse clients who are maybe not reading all the technical, juicy detail. But I hope you can see how even though this level, October 2nd, was broken a while ago, if we zoom in, okay, lots of zooming in today so you can see the real meat here, it's still providing support. Buyers keep reemerging there. That's the point. Now, does that mean you should stick your hand out and buy there? Not necessarily, but it does mean that if you have any short position or you're looking to go short, I really would kind of rather see a closing break, a daily session close below October 2nd before thinking about taking advantage of any weakness in Walmart if it unfolds. Okay, again, their earnings are coming out Thursday, November 20th. That will likely fuel the after hours activity and whatever happens until Friday. Now, ticker ROAD. This is a stock reporting earnings tomorrow that has this return to the support from August 6th. Okay, it's not quite back at that daily range, but it looks like it may want to head there. Now, over the past few days, it's been consolidating. And I'm saying that based just on the candlestick activity. So we had a range that was established on November 14th, and the 3 days so far after that, today's halfway done, are within that range. So when you see that happen, that's a great place to look and see, are we going to see a break higher or lower? You don't have to guess. You just wait for it to happen, and then you can come in and possibly have a trade setup. Now, I will say that if you apply loss forecasting, my simple trend assessment tool here, okay, so that's more in the session 2 of loss forecasting, this blue dashed line represents where that tool would say right now is the area that we want to see us climb over to consider this current downtrend potentially over. So right now, this stock has a nice little sort of low risk setup, meaning if it breaks down from this consolidation, we can see where it might finally find a footing, hopefully above the August 6th low, right? That's what I'm seeing. But if it breaks higher, then there's all this downward fall to retrace potentially, the first target being the October 22nd high. Ticker J, Jacob Solutions, is a similar kind of chart. It's heading back, in this case, towards its September 5th low, all right? So I don't think there's much more room to the downside on this stock. Again, earnings may change that picture and fuel bigger action, but just based on the current technical action, that is like an area that I think we could find a footing. I wouldn't stick my hand out and buy on a drop to it. I would wait to see if the price action forms a turn here. Okay, ticker MMS. This is a stock that has been returning towards a recent rising window. Okay, so that is a important candlestick pattern that I dig into in Gain Candlesticks. And right now it looks like it might be offering potential support. The other cool thing is the movement off of the October 6th high has shown what I teach in the missing trend strategy, right? How trends aren't just these endless moves in one direction or another. They have a certain rhythm to them. That rhythm is detailed in missing trends. It's super helpful to know where you are in a trend, right? Are you in the early phases, middle, or later? So all of that together, if I had to place a bet, which I don't have a crystal ball, I'm just showing you what I'm seeing on these charts, I would think that there's room for this stock to form a tradable low while it stays above the high from August 6th. Last but not least, ticker VEEV, Veeva Systems, what a fun name. This stock had a decline, a recovery, and a decline again. But all of this to me is still supported by the September 4th hammer candle low. And again, that may provide an area where it regroups. Also check this out. That September 4th hammer candle is very close to the low that was posted on May 29th, which created a huge rising window, okay? So there's a whole zone of support where this gap unfolded, and I don't think it's going to get back into this in the next few days. I think it could find a footing above September 4th low, but if it doesn't, right, if it breaks below, then this is the range of support to watch next. So that's my take first on Nvidia, the big player. She's reporting earnings this afternoon. And I say she because I've decided to call stocks like their ships, and people name their ships as women. So it's a big release there, and that'll probably be very market moving because, again, it's a big component of the S&P 500. All these other stocks I mentioned are just companies reporting earnings, but they may be providing tradable opportunities, especially if you happen to be somebody who isn't trading a specific watch list, right? You're maybe looking for new stocks that are beaten up or look like they might be turning soon. So that's why I'm continuing to do these kinds of updates. I will also mix in themes based on, tech or AI or even other asset classes. It's not just about stocks here, but it is earnings season, so we're sticking with the stocks and the broad market. All right, look forward to seeing you punch that like button if you got some value in this video, a stock pick idea, some analysis pointers, and I'll catch you in the next one.